Hi, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine journey. Thanks for dropping by. You know what? We had a really interesting evening about, I don't know, 6, 7 days ago. Made a video and it's been sitting, waiting. But then I said, no, I don't think so. We watched a guy blow through approximately a half a million pesos at a bar, buying out the bar. What does that mean? And how does it impact anybody, if at all it does? I thought that was kind of interesting. So we went back. Well, you know what? Let's just talk about it first.
I never got it, why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, cause I got no chance, no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
Okay, now, so buying out the bar, what does that really mean? We're going to say this and we're going to put it out there real quick right now in front so everybody sees it before they leave. There are gentlemen in our community, and when I say our community, yours and mine, if you're a subscriber or a possible subscriber, all right, that have more experience with this over the years. Okay. And so your comments below and filling in the blanks would certainly be appreciated. So if you know more about it, if you have more information about it, please tell us in those comments below. Number two, if you find this video interesting, hey, subscribe and hit that thumbs up. Every little bit helps. All right. Now, like I said, about a week ago, went to dinner, and I had to go by a bar to talk to the manager about Halloween. Trying to coordinate some different things that are going on. With that being said, we arrived and the doors were closed, but it was open. The manager said, "Oh, we sort of like a private party, but you know what, Mike, you and Arlen, and we actually had a couple friends with us. Um, Come on in." So we did. Now, in the bar were three gentlemen. Um, Two of them were sitting at one table with about, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 girls. And another one was sitting at another table with about 4 or 5 girls. And they were all, they were all three together. In addition to that, every girl in the place was out of the dressing rooms and the back. There were a good 25 girls on stage. All right. And I would say on the floor, there were a good 25 girls more. Okay. Music was blaringly loud. Huge. Oh my God, it was terribly loud. And these girls were whipping it up and having a party. I mean, yelling and screaming and twerking and whatever you want to call it. Okay. Now, we're not going to go into what transpired. We're only going to tell you a good time was being had by many. Now, I went through this. I spoke with the manager about it, and I got some information from him, and he just told me point blank, hey, this guy's a big spender. He bought out such and such a bar the other night. He bought out such and such a bar a couple nights before that. And so I asked him, what's this costing? How much does it cost to do that? And he said, well, it kind of varies. And he went through this process of what it varied. So apparently, this guy is buying round after round after round of drinks for the entire bar. That means not just the girls, wait staff, the barbacks, the DJ, everybody. Okay? With that being said, each one of these girls is getting a commission on their drinks, and he's buying these at 350 pesos a pop. All right, 350 pesos a drink. And so if you do the math, you've got probably 70, maybe 65 total. I was actually surprised that there were that many girls there, but I guess it goes to show you there's always a lot more in the back, in the dressing rooms, than what are out on the floors all of the time. So, we sat there, we figured it out, and we're not saying he bought a drink every half an hour. This guy was essentially, they have a bell you can ring, and typically that buys a drink for the girls on stage. But in this instance, it's buying a drink for everybody in the bar. And, some numbers got thrown out, and then we kind of said, okay. But the music was so loud. And I mean, great for them. They're having a party, whatever. Okay. So this was about 7 o'clock at night, early. So, we said, hey, you know what? This is just way too loud for us. You know how we are. We just come, have a cocktail, carry on a conversation, whatever, and head on our way. We'll come back in a little bit and see how things are going. And he said, sure. All right. So we came back, and it was still going on. And at that point, he was kind of trickling down, this one guy. Now, this was definitely a guy in his mid to late 50s, well-kept, well-dressed, clean, pressed clothes, whatever. All three of them were, okay? And what they did for them, we didn't converse with them and getting in their way. We didn't want to interfere with their party, all right? So at that point, this guy actually leaves with like 15 of these girls. But also at that point, we're like, hey, you know what? We're out of here. All right. I'm tired. As often as we drop by to visit people that we know at the bars, it's not a big scene for us. It really and truly is not. So the other day we went back because I wanted to get some more information. So here's what I found out. Every time this guy was ringing the bell, it was costing him about 21,000 pesos. And we saw him do it 3 times, but he was there before we got there, and he was there when we left. So let's think about it for a second. What did this cost? All right. You've got all of this bell ringing. Then you've got tip out. This guy is, raining money. I mean, they're like 50, sometimes 100 peso notes. He's got money going out. In the end, he's tipping out. And I'm not saying this is normal. I'm not saying it's mandatory. We just don't know. But in the end, he's tipping out all these girls again before he leaves. All right. And he's tipping out other people. So we talked to the manager when we came back to get information. The manager says to me, well, it wasn't as big a night as we expected. He bar share. And bar share is not something that is as prevalent as it used to be, but we're starting to see it come back. And that's where you pay the bar for the girls to go bar hopping with you. All right, they can leave the bar. The girls might be making something on the bar share, but I don't think they make anything near what they make on the bar fine. And in what I've heard is generally when you bar share, they're expecting tips because they're not really making that much money. It's a loss of revenue when they're not on the floor or on the stage. Again, I'm looking for people that have more information. But all in all, the manager says this guy dropped a little over $500,000 pesos. $500,000 pesos for about 3-4 hours at the bar, and then leaving and going to more bars with 10 or 15 girls. And you can see this. I mean, we actually saw him walking down the street a little later, all right, and this whole crowd of girls with him. And they were all from the bar, all having a great time. How much money they made, I got no idea. But what I do know is I feel highly confident in the information that was given to me by the manager that this guy pretty much blasted through $500,000 pesos. Give or take 100,000, let's say. That's still a huge number for a night out. And then the fact that the manager knew the guy and his reputation and that he had done it at other bars. Keep in mind, all the bar managers, doesn't matter what group of bars they're with, they all know each other. Most of them have been around for quite a while. So I feel highly confident in his information as well. If you've got information about buying out the bar, all right, without mentioning the bar's name, we don't want to deal with that, all right? But let us know in the comments below. And also, let us know, what do you think about this? I mean, isn't it just a party and you're spending your money? I mean, I do know there are several bloggers out there that incessantly gripe, bitch, whine, and cry, all right, about spending money needlessly and foolishly. But don't you think that if a guy's got the money to do it, he should be entitled to it? I think that's reasonable. So down below, let us know what you think about that. Let us understand what it is that you have experienced. What have you seen? Have you seen it before pandemic? Have you seen it happen since pandemic? Perhaps even maybe it's more common in Subic than it is here in Angeles. That's the first time we've heard about it, but that's the first time in our lives we've actually seen it. Okay? So, your thoughts on that? I think we'd all be interested to know. Thanks. Have a great day.